What a beautiful, beautiful passage we have today. Yesterday, we saw Moses asking the Lord. He wanted assurance of the Lord's favor. But more than that, he wanted assurance of the Lord's presence. And he was practically begging the Lord for assurance that God would not leave him nor forsake him, that God would be present with him. And I don't know that I really touched on this yesterday, but Moses was so bold to ask God to see his glory. He said, "Show me your glory," meaning show me your presence, Lord. And in today's passage, we get to see exactly that. So welcome to Exodus chapter 34. I hope that you are enjoying this journey as much as I am. Friend, this is not easy. Going through Exodus is a lot of work, but I tell you what, how do I say it? I am just growing deeper in love, deeper in awe and respect of the Lord. And it's really fun. It's really spectacular to get to know Moses as well. What an example for us. I loved his bold prayer yesterday. Oh Lord, give me, in essence, he was praying, give me assurance that you still love me. Give me assurance of your presence and that you will not leave. And in a sense, the Lord does that, but Moses goes on to say, oh Lord, show me, show me. So I think all of our hearts can relate to Moses's heart in that way. So today we have the Lord showing Moses his glory. He renews this covenant, this broken covenant, not a covenant that the Lord broke. Let's remember, this is a covenant that the people of Israel broke. How? By worshiping, by creating that golden idol and worshiping it. They broke the covenant, and Moses broke those tablets that God had written the terms of the covenant on. It was almost symbolizing that the covenant is broken. That's it. We are done for. But today is such a beautiful picture of restoration and the Lord's restoration. So after yesterday's request, we see in verse 1, the Lord says to Moses, "Cut for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first, and I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke." So he gives Moses clear instructions. If we ask that who question, we have the Lord and Moses once again. This event is going to take place once again on Mount Sinai. And the Lord just says, here's how you're to prepare yourself. You're to bring these 2 stone tablets. I'm going to write on them. If we look at some of the cross references in Deuteronomy, he also wants Moses to build a small ark to house these tablets. And really, how are we to understand this? How are we to understand that the Lord is going to meet with Moses up on Mount Sinai and rewrite these tablets? Well, friends, here's basically renewing the covenant agreement, right? And we see that down in verse 10. The Lord said, "Behold, I am making a covenant. Before all your people I will do marvels, such as have not been created in all the earth or in any nation. And all the people among whom you are shall see the work of the Lord. For it is an awesome thing that I will do with you." I mean, how beautiful this restoration, this once again restoring the people of Israel, restoring Moses to be his treasured possession. So that maybe got a little bit ahead of myself, but basically, what do we have in today's passage? We have the Lord calling Moses back up to the mountain, bring these stone tablets, and then we might just look at how does this go down? How does it play out? How does Moses respond? Well, friends, I simply put, Moses obeys. Does that not just warm your heart? Moses obeys. We have seen this time and time and time again throughout our journey in Exodus. Moses, he listens to the Lord and he follows through. He obeys. What do we learn about Moses from that? Friends, he is trustworthy. Do you remember our definition for a friend? He is a friend of God. A friend. Did I write that down here? If not, I did yesterday or the day before. A friend, a person you know well and regard with affection and trust. The Lord knows Moses as well. He knows how he will respond. He regards Moses with affection. He can trust him. He can trust Moses. Can the Lord trust us? Here's application for today. Can the Lord trust me? Lord, can you trust me? Can you trust me? And it's like a heart check. It's time for a heart check to see if there be any grievous way, any way that we might create distrust with our relationship with the Lord. All right, that's one application. How does this go down? Moses obeys, and then the Lord does just as he said he would. He descended upon the mountain. He shows Moses his glory, and he proclaims the name of the Lord, just as he said he would yesterday in Exodus chapter 33, verse 19. Let me see if I can find that to read. And the Lord said, I will make all my goodness pass before you and will proclaim before you my name, the Lord. And I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And don't we see that today? We see the Lord showing Moses his glory, his very presence. We see him proclaiming his own name, and we see him having mercy and grace to Moses and the people of Israel. What an amazing thing. What an amazing thing. So, we learn a lot about who the Lord is here, but I think with this, we also learn that God is trustworthy. Do you remember back in the beginning when the Lord revealed his name to Moses? It was on this mountain in the burning bush, and he gave him that personal name of Yahweh. Yahweh, when he speaks, it is so. That's part of the meaning of his name. When he speaks, it is so. And we see that yesterday the Lord spoke, and today he does just as he said. Is Yahweh trustworthy? Yes, yes, yes. When he speaks, it will be so. We can trust him. And then he kind of gives us, as he proclaims his name, the Lord, Yahweh, Yahweh, the one who speaks and it will be so, the one who was and is and ever shall be. He kind of gives his own biography or autobiography within his name. A God who is merciful and gracious and slow to anger, steadfast in faithfulness and love. And he's proving himself in that way. He says that he keeps his steadfast love for thousands of generations, meaning he keeps his steadfast love forever. This is how faithful Yahweh is. He will be faithful forever. We can trust him. He forgives iniquity and transgression and sin. He forgives it all. And he says, but who will by no means means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children and the children's children to the third and the fourth generation. Do you see how in essence, how small his punishment is compared to the goodness of his steadfast love and mercy and grace and faithfulness that abounds forever and ever and ever. So Moses, how does Moses respond? He quickly bows down to the earth and he just simply worships God. There really are no words here, but yet Moses comes up with some words and he makes a request to this God who has just shown him his presence and his glory. What is Moses's request? Oh, friends, if we could request something of God, what would it be? Let's look at what Moses requests. We learn something about a good request of the Lord. Oh, Lord, if now I have found favor in your sight, oh, Lord, please let the Lord go in the midst of us. What does he ask of the Lord? He asks that the Lord would continue to be present with them. He begs of the Lord for his presence and for his continued, for his pardon of our iniquity and our sin. Please, Lord, take us for your inheritance. I was just struck by how Moses also asked for pardon for our iniquity and our sin. He puts himself right there with the people of Israel. He wasn't present when they made that golden idol. He didn't bow down and worship that idol, but he places himself with these people. Pardon our sin, pardon our iniquity. And please, Lord, take us for your inheritance. There were some beautiful cross references there. In essence, the Lord is saying, please, Lord, may we continue to be your treasured possession, your kingdom of priests, a holy nation, this people that is yours. Your heritage is another word that we see in some of those cross references. But friends, I just love this prayer. If now I have found favor in your sight, O Lord, please let the Lord go in the midst of us. Be present with us. What a prayer for today. What a prayer for our families, for our cities, for our nations, that the Lord would be present with us today. And there's more to observe for today, but that seems like a good place to end. Friends, the Lord, he is wholeheartedly faithful to his people. Let us be wholeheartedly faithful to him.